Bryn Coccagna and I are teaching an interdisciplinary class that is a combination of art history and gender studies. And what we'll be looking at is particularly the evolution of the imagery of women, starting with the ancient, obviously many of you had Bryn Coccagna for ancient civilizations. She is an expert in this field, having been an assistant curator at the Walters, and brings tremendous expertise to the discussion. I'm sharing a case study with you. This is an image of the centaur carrying off, some poor woman in the ancient classical portrayal of masculinity and femininity. And we know that the centaur is half man, half horse. Traditionally, when we look at the centaur, he's often being fought by the male hero, which you can see on the left. There's a lot of reasons why this set of imagery comes into being. And it has a lot to do, as you know, with the ways that women were raised in the classical era to be a certain way and men were raised in a certain way. One of the things that we're going to be looking at is the way that contemporary female artists, this is on the right side is May Spiro, who's a feminist artist that takes the imagery of ancient civilizations and reworks with the imagery of women. So you can see, in this case, our female figure on the left side is actually in the aggressor's position, where she is attacking the centaur and basically pinning. Down at the bottom, she has chosen fragments of an Artemis statue, and as we know from mythology, Artemis being a goddess who was, in her own way, wild and fierce and an aggressor. Spiro talks about her work as looking at the way that imagery of different cultures in different eras exists at the same time. It's kind of a paraphrase of one of her famous statements. And her work is particularly interested in the idea of woman as activator or protagonist, and that the idea that she's re-imaging the way that society looks at the female form, making the female figure the center point of the agency or the action involved in the imagery. One of the things that we'll be looking at is not only the evolution of the imagery of women in terms of mythology, classical imagery, and then the use of that in contemporary practice, but we'll also be doing trips to museums and some more sort of project-based art interpretation. This is an excellent course for people who are interested in pursuing either art history or gender studies. These courses are not offered at a high school level usually. This is a great introduction for what might be an extended work in college. Currently in the tri-school schedule, as a senior, you could take an art history class. This is really a rare opportunity to be able to take to the introductory level that combines both gender studies and art history. I'm going to be stepping back out to go continue working on the middle school musical, but Mr. George is capable of answering any questions if there are for me. Please don't hesitate to email Dr. Coccagna or me if you have any further questions, and enjoy the rest of the presentation.